Friday night. You close the laptop. Your eyes hurt. Slack notifications finally stop. The apartment is quiet except for the hum of the fridge. And somewhere between exhaustion and silence, your thumb opens DoorDash without even thinking. You scroll. Burgers, sushi, Thai food. Free delivery with Uber One, 20% off if you order now. And 10 minutes later, order confirmed. That tiny sound, that tiny dopamine hit, it feels harmless. But for millions of professionals across the US and UK, that single nightly ritual is quietly draining thousands of dollars a year. Not because people are stupid, not because they're lazy, because they were outdesigned. The modern delivery app is not a food company. It's a friction removal machine. Its entire job is to make spending feel emotionally invisible. And once you understand that, you start seeing these apps differently. Not as convenience, but as behavioral architecture. Think about how unnatural modern ordering actually is. 20 years ago, ordering food required effort. You had to find the menu, call the restaurant, speak to someone, hear the total out loud, maybe even pay cash at the door. Every step created friction. And friction mattered. Because friction gave your brain time to ask, do I actually want to spend this money? Now, the app handles everything. So you don't have to think. Your card is saved. Your address is saved. Your favorite order is saved. Apple Pay removes typing. Uber One removes delivery pain. DashPass removes fee awareness. The app remembers everything, so your brain can stay asleep. And that changes spending behavior dramatically, because the moment paying becomes frictionless, the brain stops treating it like loss. Behavioral economists call this the pain of paying, and delivery apps figured out how to anesthetize it. Here's what that looks like in real life. A pad thai costs $16 in the restaurant. Reasonable. But inside the app, watch what happens. First, the menu price quietly inflates. Now it's $21.99. Then, $3.99 delivery fee, $2.50 small order fee, 15% service fee. Tip: 1 by 1. Tiny additions. Tiny, painless cuts, until the final total becomes $34.27 for noodles. And somehow, your brain barely reacts, because the charges were partitioned, separated, hidden inside smooth design. This is called partitioned pricing, and it's incredibly powerful psychologically. Because the brain experiences one large payment as painful, but many tiny payments as manageable. A single $34 meal feels irresponsible. But $3.99, $2.50, 15% plus tip feels emotionally softer, even though the outcome is identical. And subscriptions make this even worse. Uber One, DashPass, Deliveroo Plus. These programs don't reduce spending. They increase order frequency. Because once delivery feels already paid for, your brain starts searching for reasons to use it. Just like Amazon Prime, you stop asking, should I order? And start asking, what should I order? That's the trap. And the scariest part, most people ordering food aren't even hungry. They're mentally exhausted. There's a difference. Friday night burnout, avoiding dishes, lonely scrolling after work, rewarding yourself after a stressful client call. The food becomes emotional relief. a coping mechanism wrapped in convenience. Which is why telling people, just stop ordering, doesn't work. Because this isn't about discipline. It's about environment. The apps removed every speed bump between emotion and spending. So if you want control back, you need to rebuild friction intentionally. That's the entire idea behind something called the Digital Friction Reset. A simple 10-minute setup that restores awareness without deleting delivery apps entirely, because total restriction usually fails. But small friction changes behavior fast. Step 1. Delete every saved payment method. Every single one. Apple Pay, Google Pay, saved Visa cards, PayPal autofill. Gone. Now every order requires manual card entry. At first, this feels annoying. That's the point. Because convenience is what kept the spending invisible. Typing your card manually forces the brain back into the process. You pause. You reconsider. And that tiny interruption matters far more than people realize. Especially at night. Especially under fatigue. Especially when emotions are driving the purchase. Remember, the goal isn't to ban delivery. The goal is to wake your brain back up. Step 2. Create a separate food wallet, a second bank account, or prepaid debit card. Name it. Takeout. Every Monday, transfer a fixed amount. Maybe $80, $100, $150, whatever realistically fits your life. But once that balance is gone, that's it. No topping it up emotionally. This works because visible depletion changes behavior. Right now, most people use one giant checking account for everything. Rent, coffee, delivery, subscriptions. So spending feels infinite, abstract, but separate accounts create psychological boundaries, and boundaries restore awareness. And finally, step 3, the 15-minute delay rule. Before ordering, add everything to cart. Then wait, just 15 minutes. That's it. No complicated budgeting spreadsheet. No productivity guru ritual. Just wait. During those 15 minutes, drink water, shower, walk outside, heat leftovers, or simply sit still, because most delivery cravings are temporary emotional waves, not real hunger. And friction exposes that difference. Many people don't actually want the food. They want the relief. And once the nervous system settles, the order suddenly feels unnecessary. Imagine someone spending $1, $200 a month on delivery apps. That sounds extreme. Until you realize that's just $20 to $35 orders a day, plus weekend spending, plus subscription-driven ordering. Now imagine the 15-minute delay removes just 40% of those purchases. That's nearly $500 saved monthly. Over $6,000 a year. Not through extreme budgeting. Not through suffering. Just through friction. Because the apps were never competing on food quality. They were competing on speed, on emotional immediacy, on removing the space between feeling and action. And once you understand that, you stop blaming yourself quite so much. You realize something important. You were never weak. You were standing inside a system professionally engineered to make spending effortless. That's why the real battle isn't food. It's awareness. Because the most dangerous purchases in modern life are the ones that never feel like spending at all.